Okay, let's unpack this and dive into a place that sparks just so many dreams and travel plans. Bali,
Yeah,
Indonesia.
absolutely.
Yeah,
A truly singular destination.
it really is. And for this deep dive, we're working, directly from the material you shared with us, this guide called 12 Best Things to Do in Bali.
Right.
And our mission, well, it's to take this guide and really pull out the absolute most important, maybe surprising, and insightful bits, give you that shortcut to being properly informed about Bali.
Sort of balancing its huge global fame with its authentic core.
Exactly. The guide promises quite a mix of experiences, doesn't it? Hinting that Bali is way more than just, beaches or fancy resorts.
It's definitely a layered place.
Right.
Very complex.
Right. We're talking about these mystical temples perched dramatically on cliffs or maybe serene lakes, chasing incredible waves.
Finding peace in wellness hubs.
Or just savoring unbelievable food. It seems like it's all there, often kind of side by side.
And what makes it unique, I think, is how it all intertwines.
Yeah, we'll try and pull out the highlights from the guide that paint that full picture.
Okay, so what struck me immediately looking at this guide is how Bali manages this balancing act. It welcomes millions, literally millions of visitors every year, while somehow fiercely preserving its profound spiritual identity.
It's genuinely remarkable when you think about it. The scale is just, wow, over 10,000 Hindu temples across the island.
10,000.
And something like 4,000 traditional dance performances every single year.
Right, and this isn't some show put on for tourists, It feels like the living, breathing culture of the place.
Totally.
And the guide, it paints a really vivid picture of this dual nature. Like, you could be watching dolphins at sunrise in a quiet spot, amid maybe on the East Coast.
Okay.
And then later that same day, you're at Uluwatu Temple for sunset, witnessing sacred prayers.
Wow.
And then it shifts right into that dramatic kikak dance.
That ability to pivot so quickly from like pure natural wonder to deep cultural stuff,
Correct.
sometimes in just one afternoon.
Yep.
That really seems to define the Bali experience described here. It's not one or the other.
It's absolutely both, intertwined. And the insights gathered here, it says they're drawn from chats with local Balinese guides, long-term expats. Plus, exploring beyond the really busy tourist zones like Kuta or Seminyak. So it promises that blend.
The postcard Bali alongside the deeper island treasured by the locals.
Exactly.
Okay, so when you think spiritual pillars of Bali, the temples are, well, they're absolutely central.
I can't miss them.
And the guide really highlights how their locations aren't just random. They're often in these incredibly dramatic settings.
Right. Starting with Ulundanu Temple.
The famous one, the one that looks like it's floating on the water.
Precisely. It sits right there on Lake Baraita up in the Central Highlands.
Okay.
It's a major Hindu Shaivite temple, so dedicated to Shiva, really important in Balinese tradition. And the setting, well, just unparalleled.
I can only imagine. The visuals described sound stunning, the temple buildings reflecting in the calm lake.
With Mount Batur volcano in the background.
Wow.
It makes for unforgettable views, apparently.
Ah.
The temple itself, it dates back to the early 17th century.
Wow, quite old.
And the guide mentions setting aside several hours is key, to really soak it in. And there are food and juice stalls nearby, which is handy.
Good tip. Then, contrasting that sort of inland tranquility, you got Kanalat Temple.
Yes, dramatically located right on the coast, standing against the power of the Indian Ocean.
Quite a different feel.
Totally. It's an ancient Hindu temple, a vital pilgrimage site. The imagery is powerful, waves constantly crashing against its base, and worshipers down in these caves below the main temple with incense and offerings.
And what about that fascinating local belief? Something about an army of sea snakes guarding the temple.
Yeah, a truly unique detail adds to the mystique, doesn't it?
It really does.
Tanalat is thought to be from the 16th century.
Yeah.
And it's actually one of a chain, 7 sea temples along the south coast.
Oh, interesting.
But you should know, it's apparently Indonesia's most visited temple.
Ah, okay. Crowds.
Big time. So the guide strongly advises visiting during the week. Avoid holidays if you can, just to manage that.
Makes sense. And finally, for temples, there's a truly breathtaking cliffside one, Uluwatu.
Oh, yes. Sitting over 230 feet up on this sheer cliff face, just looking out over the vast Indian Ocean.
Incredible position.
It's another of those sacred sea temples, considered one of the island's most important spiritual sites.
And its history goes back even further, right? Built in the 11th century.
That's right, 11th century. A key point for visiting is respecting the sacred space. modest clothing.
Right.
But don't worry, they provide sarongs and sashes at the entrance, apparently. You walk this narrow trail right along the cliff edge.
Sounds amazing.
Incredible views down to the sea, up at the temple, but yeah, quite narrow.
And this is the place intrinsically linked with the famous kikak dance.
Absolutely. The guide specifically highlights seeing the kikak performance at sunset here. Calls it a must-see.
What's it like?
Well, it's described as this really dramatic show. A large chorus of male dancers chanting kak, 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 with intricate movements, costumes, fire. And apparently there were even elements of humor woven in.
Wow.
It sounds like an unforgettable cultural experience, especially against that dramatic cliffside backdrop as the sun goes down.
Okay, so moving from these incredible sort of spiritual and historical sites, the guide then shifts focus a bit, right? Towards the natural landscapes and the adventure they invite.
Right, yeah. Straight into the heart of Bali's geography.
Yeah.
First up, Mount Agung.
The island's highest point.
Yeah.
And deeply sacred, too.
And an active volcano, let's not forget, with a history of significant eruptions.
How tall is it?
Nearly 10,000 feet. Its sort of conical shape is visible from almost anywhere on the island, even across the water in Lombok sometimes.
So, options for experiencing it.
Well, for the seriously adventurous, the guide mentions a hike to the peak is possible.
Tough one, I bet.
Definitely. But it also suggests just finding viewing spots in the surrounding towns offers equally incredible, maybe less strenuous perspectives.
Good to have options. Then you have the ancient rice terraces.
Ah, yes. Such a signature visual of Bali, isn't
Well, it really is. That image comes to mind immediately.
And this intricate system of rice farming, it dates back centuries. It's literally shaped the landscape in this unique way.
Where are the best places to see them, according to the guide?
It points out the Seeking Rice terraces near Ubud, those famously verdant, sculpted hillsides.
The ones you always see pictures of?
Probably. With their expertly engineered irrigation canals. And also the Mupu Rice Terrace, described as more expansive, truly postcard-worthy.
It sounds like a chance to see, well, living history, learn about traditional agriculture.
And yeah, get that classic Bali selfie, let's be honest.
True. And of course, you can't talk Bali's natural elements without mentioning surfing.
Oh, absolutely not. It's been world-renowned for surfers since, what, the 1970s?
Yeah, drawing people from all over U.S., Brazil, Australia.
The great thing is, this guide seems to cater to everyone. If you're just starting out, it says Kuta Beach is the spot.
Why Kuta?
Easy board rentals, warm, clear water year-round, and apparently lots of other beginners to kind of learn alongside. Less intimidating, maybe.
Makes sense. And for those with more experience...
Timeless breaks like Uluwatu, Bingin, and Canggu are mentioned. Consistent challenges there.
And for the real experts?
They highlight Padang for its challenging, draining tube waves. So, yeah, it really covers the full spectrum from total newbie to pro.
Okay, so beyond the big natural landscapes, the guide also highlights specific areas that are like vibrant hubs for culture and the arts.
Ubud comes up as a prime example.
Right. It sounds like this fascinating blend, a smaller town, southern Bali, but it's become a major center for wellness tourism, nature stuff.
Yeah.
But it also holds some of the island's oldest architecture and traditions.
Exactly that blend.
Oh.
It's nestled amongst these really lush surroundings. Countless waterfalls reachable via narrow jungle trails.
Hidden swimming holes.
Apparently. Often leading to hidden swimming holes or cascades.
And temples, too.
Oh, yes. Plenty of important temples you can visit respectfully, like Pura Tirta Empul. That's the one famous for its holy water spring ceremonies.
Ah.
And showing that blend again, the guide even mentions things like the Aloha Ubud swing, you know, those giant swings.
Right. I've seen pictures.
It just illustrates how traditional culture kind of coexists with newer tourist attractions in that area.
Interesting. Another crucial cultural experience mentioned is the gamelan performance.
Yes, this ancient Indonesian musical art form. It's really central to Balinese cultural life.
What instruments does it involve?
It's an ensemble. Lots of gongs, metallophones, those metal bar instruments you strike, and hand drums, creating these incredibly intricate, layered harmonies. It sounds quite unique.
Where can you find these performances?
We learned you can experience them all over the island, actually, often associated with temple ceremonies.
So just ask around.
Yeah, asking your hotel or maybe someone at a local temple is a good way to find one happening nearby.
Any specific hotspots?
Ubud and Uluwatu are specifically mentioned as places known for regular public performances. And sometimes the shows include other art forms, too.
Like what?
Like mesmerizing shadow puppets or traditional dancers performing alongside the musicians.
Sounds like a rich experience. Okay, shifting gears slightly. From the sort of visual and auditory culture, The guide moves into experiences that engage the senses differently. Taste and relaxation.
Yes. Starting with the coffee scene.
Which is described as, what was it? Nothing short of amazing, high praise?
Yeah. It apparently ranges from the really common, simple Bali kopi, those instant grounds you find everywhere, all the way up to high-end, single-origin varieties for the real connoisseurs.
Are there places to specifically experience this?
Yes. Places like Bali Pulina offer tours where you can actually see coffee plantations on the hillsides, learn about the process, and do tastings.
That sounds cool.
But even without a formal tour, the guide notes that just fantastic coffee shops are spread all throughout the island. So it's a paradise for coffee lovers at pretty much any level.
Good to know. And then the relaxation side, Bali's reputation for world-class spas, that's definitely highlighted.
Oh, absolutely. Called some of the very best globally.
Where are they mostly found?
You'll find a concentration of high-end options in areas like downtown Kuta, Canggu, and Ubud again.
Any specific examples given?
Yeah, Five Limits Retreat Bali gets a mention for its luxurious aromatherapy and massage experiences.
Sounds nice.
And Desi Seni, noted as a luxurious wellness center offering yoga, spa services, all set in really beautiful surroundings.
So they cover everything: healing waters, massages.
Healing waters, expert massages, aromatherapy, yoga, the works, basically. Pure indulgence.
Okay, while the most famous areas clearly offer so much, the guide also strongly suggests venturing further afield to get a different perspective.
Yes, exploring parts of Bali beyond the, let's say, well-trodden south.
What kind of examples does it give?
Well, heading north, for instance, to see places like Beji Sangsit Temple, which apparently has really unique architecture. Or staying near the Limuki Eco-Village, known for breathtaking waterfalls.
Or exploring the area around Lake Batur.
Right. That whole region, the Nawal Batur Lake itself and the surrounding villages, it offers a different kind of vibe.
What's that?
You'll find wellness retreats, more waterfalls, temples, great hiking trails, and there's even the Museum Geopark Batur.
What's that?
You can learn about the really dramatic geological history that shaped the whole island, the volcanic past.
Interesting. And even the coasts offer variety.
Yeah, places like Padang Bai on the east coast or Mandawi way over on the west coast. Each apparently offers a fresh look at Balinese culture, distinct from those famous southern beach towns.
Gives you a reason to explore more widely.
Definitely encourages it. And of course, any deep dive into Bali would be, well, incomplete without talking about the food.
Absolutely. The cuisine sounds outstanding, covering a huge range, it seems.
From simple, soulful local dishes to, world-class fine dining. It's all there.
So, for the heart of Balinese food culture, where does the guide point you?
Towards the warongs. These are the small, often family-run eateries where the locals eat. That's usually where you find the really authentic stuff.
And cheap, too, probably.
Usually, yes. Offering authentic, delicious, and inexpensive meals. Serving up classic dishes.
Like nasi goreng?
Yep, fried rice. And nasi campur, that's rice mixed with lots of different small portions of meat, veg, sauces.
Oh, I like those mixed plates.
Me too. And lokawar, a traditional mixture, finely chopped meat, vegetables, grated coconut, spices, very Balinese.
Sounds flavorful.
Yeah.
But it's not just local eats.
No, not at all. On the other end of the spectrum, you're never far from incredibly refined dining experiences. The guide mentions Locavore NXT as an example of world-renowned high-end cuisine.
So something for every palate and every budget.
Pretty much sums it up.
Okay, so drawing everything together from this guide you shared, what we're seeing is an island offering just an incredible spectrum of experiences.
Yeah, a huge range.
From ancient spirituality woven into daily life, these dramatic natural landscapes.
Vibrant cultural arts, thrilling adventures.
Deep relaxation, and, let's not forget, truly fantastic food.
This deep dive, just using the points highlighted in that guide,
Yep.
it really helps you navigate that richness, doesn't it? Understand the layered nature of Bali.
Exactly, and reflecting on everything we've just explored from that material, especially that point about how Bali manages to maintain over 10,000 active temples.
And thousands of traditional dance performances annually.
Right, alongside attracting millions, literally millions, of international tourists every year.
It genuinely makes you pause and wonder, doesn't it? In a place grappling with tourism on that kind of scale.
Yeah.
How does the very fabric of that deep spiritual and cultural identity manage to remain so incredibly vibrant, so accessible, and so resilient?
It's a really powerful question to think about as you consider Bali.
Definitely something to mull over.
Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive.